Comedy bang bang, 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 comedy bang bang.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on WebMD, where you might recognize my catchphrase, "You definitely have syphilis." Welcome to Comedy Bang Bang. Did I say Comedy Bang Bang? I believe I did. Welcome to Comedy Bang Bang for another week. First of 4 best of episodes. First of 4. That is right. This is BO20151. Sounds like a Star Wars droid, doesn't it? Oh, we gotta go into the new one. Welcome to the Comedy Bang Bang Show for our best of. That was, of course, the Cantina theme original version mixed with a little reggae.
Of course it was both of those.
If you have not seen the new Star Wars, that's the only spoiler we'll give here today. There's a little bit of reggae music in
reggae man!
it. So make sure you get to a theater post-haste if you are a reggae fan.
Now, did you hear the rumor that one of the Cantina characters was actually Adrian Brody reprising his famous Rastaman character from SNL?
Booyakasha!
I'll never, ever forget
John. My neck. Respect my neck.
Respect my neck.
I believe he was in there in the back with just, what do you call those reggae hats?
Hats?
You just call them hats because you're such a reggae fan. It's like Chinese food to you when you live in China.
Yeah. Do you guys want to have some Chinese food from the food we eat here in China?
Welcome to, I keep welcoming. Welcoming? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome, Ninny. Welcome, Ninny. Welcome, Ninny, to the episode. Oh, boy. God.
Welcome, Ninny, to the episode.
Welcome, Ninny, to the episode. I am Scott Aukerman, your host, of course, for nigh upon 6.5 years now with this program.
Wow.
And pretty crazy how it keeps going, how time keeps marching on and things occur and then things do not occur and yet progress is made, forward progress.
You say so.
Mm-hmm. And
is something that just keeps continuing happening considered progress?
I don't know. You know, it'd be interesting if, say, time occurred like you did a day and then you went backwards a little bit and then you went forwards a little bit, you know?
That's how I feel all the time, Scott.
Reggae music. By the way, the new Cantina theme was, I believe, partially written, or I'm not. I haven't checked the press materials yet that were passed out in my screening.
That's right. When are we going to go through that press kit for Star Wars: The Force Awakens?
Because we are critics, of course.
Well,
this is considered to be a critical program.
We're influencers, Scott.
Yes,
we're influencers.
That's right. But that was, I believe, co-written or written by one of our new friends, Lin
What are you? You were searching for the name. I didn't know what the next.
No, I
word
wasn't
was
searching for the name. I was searching for your cosign from you.
Oh, sure,
like
absolutely.
To nod. Yes, of course.
Yes,
our new friend. Yes. Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton,
the composer of Hamilton.
Yes,
composer and star.
Composer and star of Hamilton.
Yes,
and I will be. If you're listening to this when it comes out, I'll be seeing it tomorrow night, I believe.
What if they're listening to it after it comes out?
Well, then all bets are off.
And so you're saying if people
taking bets on this.
If people listening to this at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
On
PST.
Yeah, on Tuesday, I guess.
Tuesday.
Or Monday. No,
sure.
it comes out.
This comes out on Monday.
It comes out on Monday. All right.
I'll introduce you in a second. But yes, he listens to this program, I believe. Listens to this program.
He listens to the program.
He listens to the program with the pudding.
You're not going to hear anything for much longer.
Nighty night.
Senses receding.
That's a big story that happened in
Guys.
2015. That counts. That counts
sorry.
as something that we can talk about.
I feel like that's a little off-brand
This
for
is
me.
best week ever.
Best week ever. Why? We're having such a good time.
That's right. And I have the former host of Best Week Ever right across from me. He, of course, he only does these episodes on the best ofs, although he did one in the mid-year, I believe.
I believe so.
Which was a big treat to have him on. But he'll be on for the next 4 episodes where we'll be counting down your top 14 Comedy Bang Bang episodes. Today we'll be going through 14 through 11. And then so on and so forth.
Oh, this one goes to 11?
Spinal Tap.
Pop culture reference.
Best week ever. He was the former host of this program, Best Week Ever.
I still am.
Yeah, you're still here.
I still am the former host of that program. I always will be.
Really? You don't think that you'll ever not be the former host, you'll be the current host?
Well, I don't think it's ever coming back with me as the host.
What if it did?
Well, it came back without me as the host.
That's true.
And then it died on its own. Didn't
On
need
the
help from
vine.
me.
Yeah, that's right. Paul F. Tompkins is here.
Hi
Hello
to me.
Happy holidays.
Happy
as
holidays.
This is Christmas week and Boxing Day week.
That's right.
And
Those are the 2 holidays people mean when they say happy holidays.
Yeah.
No other holidays.
no other holidays at all. Welcome back to the program. It's very nice to see you.
Scott, it's always nice to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for having me. I love this time of year, and one of the reasons I love it
Eggnog.
is because eggnog. Case closed.
We have a couple of glasses right here.
See you guys next episode.
Oh my God, I'm fucking drunk.
Do you like eggnog? Because I do.
I do. I actually, the widow Kulop and I, when we went out shopping for a get-together we had recently, we bought a lot of alcohol at Costco.
Sure.
And I bought 6 giant jugs of pre-made whiskey eggnog. And
with the booze already in it?
With the booze already in it. I was
boy.
like, oh, this is going to be a big hit at the party. I believe 1.5 of those giant jugs was, so we have 4.5
May I
still at
say,
the house.
Scott, I was at...
Yeah, I'm on.
If this is the... Hear me now!
Respect.
If this is the gathering that I was invited to...
Magic the Gathering, yes.
Yeah, if this was the Magic the Gathering get-together that I was invited to...
Yep. You
I
needed
didn't
to bring some new cards.
I did not see that eggnog anywhere, and I would have had some.
I know. Well, at one point, the bartender almost set fire to my kitchen by trying to heat some up. Like, he took it upon himself. Really cool
heat
dude.
some up?
Yeah, he pulled out a saucepan, unbeknownst to Kulaparai, and he just heated some up in a saucepan, and then someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, look." And I turned around. There's a giant flames up to the ceiling. But he was great. Nice guy named Kevin. He learned all of our names. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
There were quite a few people at this get-together, and he memorized everyone's name.
Do you think he used a demonic device?
He used
sold his soul to Satan.
Yes,
So he should
just for
remember
that
names.
power. Yeah. Seems like a waste. You and I have both seen Star Wars, so let's go through some spoilers.
Absolutely.
No, we're
Rest in
not.
peace, R2D2. Too soon.
R2D too soon. Let's get that hashtag going.
R2D2 soon. Anytime you're joking about the death of a robot, it's R2D2 soon.
Yes, anytime. And how often does that come up? Joking about the death of a robot.
More often than you think, but not that often.
I guess
still.
joking about the movie I, Robot. Lots of robots died in that.
Robot.
Ay, those mio robots.
Don't joke about iRobot, though.
I would never.
iRobot would never.
So what else is going on for you this holiday season? I mean, you're off to Never Land. Reggaetalica, mon.
Oh, Reggaetalica. I bet somebody's done that.
I
I
have close to 200,000 songs in my iTunes. I just put it on random.
Of course
every
I
day.
know that.
And I have records that I've never listened to that one day just one song will pop up in there. And one of them is Beatallica, which is, I believe, Beatles songs done in the style of Metallica.
Absolutely.
And it's really funny to hear someone impersonate, what's his name? Hetfield? Or who is that guy? Kirk?
Yeah, James Hetfield?
James Hetfield, yeah. Because, like, basically all the guy does is, like, goes, 8 days a week. It's really funny.
Worth it.
Worth it.
My wife and I...
I'm just going to let that
Thank
pass.
you. we've traded music back and forth over the years, shared songs with each other. So sometimes I'll have a song in my library that absolutely is from her music collection.
Right.
And we'll be listening to it in the car and she's like, who's this? I'm like,
And
I
she
got
doesn't
this
like
from
it?
you.
Oh,
Well,
I got this from you, Dad.
I don't know why, but it's always the maximum amount of incredulity when she's asking me, what's this?
What normally is it? What type of music does she enjoy?
National anthems. She loves
Really,
national
just
anthems,
from
yeah.
every country.
From every country.
What is the best national anthem? I'm trying to think. Because pretty much Canada's and the United States of America are almost exactly the same, are they not? Or are they a different tune?
I think they're a different tune.
What's the thing I'm thinking of?
You're thinking of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star
Right.
and the alphabet.
Right, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
How I wonder where you are.
Got it.
Yeah.
By the way, in the public domain now.
That's right. Happy birthday to
Jeremy
you.
Piven, Jeremy Piven, Jeremy Piven, signed with UTA.
After the midnight raid.
Oh my goodness, what a big news story that was
I
this
mean,
week.
Scott, we could talk about that for 4 episodes.
Oh, were you in play?
There was a while there where I was like, where am I?
Am I? Am
Where
I
am
CAA?
I? I haven't heard from
UTA?
anybody.
Oh. That's a little inside talk here. On
Should be
Comedy
outside.
Bang.
More people should know about it.
Yep.
More people should know about the ins and outs of showbiz representation.
And people should be able to look at our bank accounts.
Yeah. Transparency. Transparency.
Transparent is a big TV show. Why not,
Let's see how much they make.
Yeah, exactly. if they're so transparent.
Should be in the credits. The closing credits.
What everyone's
next to their
salary
names.
was.
Yeah. Name, actor name, character, salary.
Yep, come on. Tambor.
Position on the call sheet. I know you like that.
Yeah, I love that stuff. By the way, I want to hype this a little bit. You are in a television show that I'm producing called Bajillion Dollar Properties, coming
That's
out, first episode coming out in a few weeks.
Isn't it $bajillion dollar property $?
Sorry, Bajillion Dollar Property dollar sign. Yes, of course.
That's how you search.
That's how it's like num-3ers.
That's right.
That's how it's pronounced.
Or says 7.
Says 7 and what number are you on the call sheet for that?
Scott, inexplicably, I am number 1.
You are number 1.
Number 1 on the call sheet.
Very good.
Been a while.
Since
Since I've been number 1 on the call sheet. What's so funny is I'm not even on the show every day. So I'm still, for some reason, CC'd on all communications with the show. So I get the call sheets every day when I'm not working. and I see that it starts with number 2.
Right? Always with number 2 because it's out of deference to your stature in the entertainment industry.
That's what my whole career has been leading up to, is for someone to take pity on me and say,
Pity?
Make him number 1.
No. This was no pity.
Make him number
sir.
1 on
This
the
was
call
contractually obliged.
Is that so?
No, I think it was out of deference to you.
That's very kind.
Are you having a good time on that show? We showed you a little bit of it the other day.
Yes, I think you were threatening to show me more, but it would have made me so
I'm going to show you
It
more.
would have made me so self-conscious to
Watch it in
with
front
you
of us.
guys,
Yeah.
watch myself on a screen. But
You have a couple of great scenes in that. You score big in it. I
oh,
have to
good.
say.
I am very glad. I had a great time working on that. We're going to do a little more in the next
Do
month.
a little more.
All right.
Yep.
And it's a great group of people. I love those kids. They're all 30 years younger
Fresh. I don't believe that is true. I don't believe they're prepubescent.
than I am. They're all 10 years old.
But we found a great cast for it. I do want to talk about it just a little bit because I think people will want to see this. But it's the Widow Kulop show that she created, and I'm producing it along with Tom Lennon and Ben Garant. And Ben was directing, and half the time with Alex Fernie, and Alex was also directing. And I mean, we found some great young improvisers who are the cast, and you are their boss. And you're sort
On
of
screen and off.
Wait a minute. Were you bossing them around off screen?
I was.
What were you? I was wondering why you were having like shoe shines done by them.
It was a lot. I was adjusting their posture. I was telling them to.
They were walking around
look
with
sharp,
books on their heads,
That's
like
right.
they were in finishing school.
That's right.
They should call it ending school, shouldn't they?
Why?
Because that's all I got. Because Hey, finishing school. What about starting school? You know what I mean? What about staying in school?
Kindergarten.
That's okay. Yeah, you're right. So look for that on CISO.
Bajillion Dollar Properties. It's a very funny show, and it really is a great cast. And I had so much fun improvising with those guys.
And you'll be filming a little more come the new year as well. And so in a few weeks, I believe that'll be up on CISO. So people should be figuring out their test.
I heard March.
No, it premieres in March, but the first episode goes up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, sneaky
in order for
peeky.
people to sneaky peeky,
Yeah, peeky blinders.
Yeah, so people should go to CISO and get the test. What is it?
Yes.
Not test, but trial run? Trial. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's like a free trial or something like.
Because it's
Everyone is due a free trial.
It is a subscription
because of the
service.
Constitution.
Right. That's right.
Everyone is allowed a free, quick, and speedy trial.
That's right. They can get a trial membership to CISO with a jury of their peers.
Now you have to sit through a jury process.
Oh my! And
there is a trial.
It is the worst. You ask people, "Have you ever seen television?" And then if they have, they're disqualified.
And when it's a jury of their peers, really, a bunch of white people,
Yeah,
a bunch of rich white people.
Exactly.
Come on. Anyway, that'll be coming up soon. And speaking of coming up soon, I do want to say that we have to get to our countdown, don't we?
Yeah. Okay. That's on the topic of coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up right now, I believe. Let's get to it.
Can't get it any sooner than that.
We're going to be counting down and you guys voted on this, by the way.
This is on you.
This is on whatever, we don't give a shit. We just read it.
I could not fucking care less.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I spent the last 3 days, days and nights, compiling these clips and figuring out time code.
Now, how do you determine the clips? Do you ask people what are their favorite moments?
Here's what I do. Okay, and by the way, we're going to be listening to your top 14 on this countdown. Couldn't quite sneak in the 15.
Why is that?
Just for amount of time that we have. These are all long episodes. Couldn't quite get the 15th in there. I would have had to shorten every other clip so much that it wouldn't have been fun anymore.
That's fair.
But basically, I figure out what the numbers are. I go look at the episode page. I will sometimes I'll try to remember it from memory and go, what was funny in that? But what is more effective is to go to the message boards and kind of read people's reactions to it at the time, because a lot of times people will go, oh, this was so funny when they said that. I'll sort of give that a cursory skim. Then I usually have to listen to the entire episode in order to remember what was really funny and while taking notes and time code notes, and then I'll go back and figure out the time code.
Now,
yes,
it's important to note that you are doing this on your own time. No one is really helping you out with this.
No, I mean,
you don't have to do this.
Good old engineer Cody Ryan over here is helping us out here on one of the days off from the studio, so that's really nice.
That is very nice of him to do. But I mean, what I mean is that this is a thing that you are providing. That
it's a
you
passion.
don't have to do this.
Well, it's a passion project for me. We started the best ofs 6 years ago, I believe, and it's something that I enjoy doing, although it takes too much fucking time.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration, bitches.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration, bitches.
We need to celebrate.
What dialect is it? What dialect is it? It's a celebration, bitches.
It's a celebration, bitches.
Celebration, bitches. That is a horrifying dialect. I know we have fans out there, and where is it? Australia or New Zealand? That's what we were attempting to do.
What's the diff?
Who cares out there? Look, I will be visiting you, though. I believe we may be
no, really?
Going out there this year at some point.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
So much fun. I was there with the Thrilling Adventure Hour in New Zealand and Australia this past year, and it was a lot of fun.
If you've never listened to Comedy Bang Bang before, maybe you just were given an iPod, that's always my theory. Someone gets an iPod on Christmas, and they go, what is a podcast? Cereal? And then they run out of cereal to listen to, and they go, all right, gotta find something else.
But season 2, though, just started with Bo Bergdorf.
Boy. Who's that?
He's the host of the new season of Serial.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Really? What happened to whoever her name was?
Oh, I don't know. I think she got murdered, and this is a...
Wait, by the first guy?
Yeah, they're trying to solve her.
They're trying to solve her. That would be the best season 2 of all time.
That's right. Bo Bergdahl, of course, from the supermarket chain and former NFL great.
Yep. Murdered. What's her name?
That's right. Murdered Walter Koenig.
From Star Trek?
That's right.
Chekhov?
Star Trek. By the way, Scott, I know you got business to do.
Yeah.
Tell me this happened when you saw Star Wars. There were 30 minutes of trailers before the movie. right? Because people,
a little less at the ArcLight.
The movie business is like, we have a captive audience. Let's show them everything. They showed a Star Trek trailer before Star Wars, and at the end of it, everyone booed, and it really made me laugh.
A lot of people upset about this new Star Trek trailer, including even Simon Pegg, I guess, a friend of the show who was interviewed recently and they asked him about the new Star Trek trailer, and his face could not hide his embarrassment about it. And it's purely just because they're using, listen, all y'all, it's a sabotage throughout the entire thing.
Right.
Because young Kirk plays it when he's like a 5-year-old kid driving around that car or something.
Something like that.
And he's like, remember that time I drove around that car and played that old, hundreds of years old song?
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to that the rest of my life.
It's not a great trailer. It's not a great trailer.
I thought it looked all right. But
I thought it was funny that the Star Wars audience booed the Star Trek trailer.
Do you think it was because they were at Star Wars and they were booing Star Trek?
Yes.
I think it's because they hated the trailer.
Oh, no. Because there were some other shitty trailers that did not get that treatment.
I just think that there is a big backlash against that trailer. That particular trailer.
Perhaps you're right.
Maybe, I don't know. Let's agree to disagree. Maybe it was just people going, this is Star Wars, not Trek.
I think that's what it was, Scott.
I think people who like Star Wars like Star Trek, though, too.
Of course there's crossover. Scott, darling, of course there is.
It's all in the stars, my dear boy. One's a long time ago, one's in the future.
Exactly.
What if they're both in the same universe? You know what I mean? Like,
what if we're in the same universe as both of them?
Well, obviously we're in the same universe as Star Trek.
Is it obvious? Because
in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, they come back here.
There are multiple universes, though.
That's right. This is the multiple universe theory with the new Star Trek. So
anyway, this is what it is. The multiple universe theory is there might be a different universe other than Star Trek.
I feel like we're getting wildly off course here.
What were we doing?
Comedy Bang Bang, we are back
Comedy
here.
Bang Bang, we are back here.
We have Paul F. Tompkins on the ones and twos.
I'm only on the twos today.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What happened to the ones?
Well, it's a long story. Do you have time?
We got nothing but time.
Okay.
Wait a minute. We have to actually count down our Comedy Bang Bang
Are you
episodes.
sure you don't have time for the story? It begins, I woke up.
Wait, when?
I woke up this morning.
Oh, this morning. Okay,
Yeah.
I might have time. If
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
is,
yeah.
because this is relatively early in the morning.
Yes.
If you just recount in real time, by the way.
Yes.
It'll just be about 3 hours.
I woke up this morning.
Okay.
I like to lay in bed for a little bit. Just surf my iPad, see what's going on in the news. Maybe play a little Plants vs. Zombies.
Who wins?
The zombies win every single time.
They win, we all lose. What is it?
Yeah, that's right. If they win, we all lose. The perfect tagline. If they win, we all lose.
Whoever wins. God, what's up with my referenceometer today? I may be intentionally getting some wrong, but not that one.
It's hard to tell, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's hard to tell for you, I think.
Am I an idiot at this point where I just can't remember anything?
Are you being willfully ignorant? Or
I think a lot of times I can't actually come up with it, so I say a thing that it might be. I just blurt out the thing that it might be.
like a placeholder?
Knowing it's wrong.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Someone will rush in with the correct thing.
Yes. Someone will help me. Someone will save me.
Anyway, I took a shower and accidentally
Naked.
struck the number 1 from the numbers.
What?
There's no more number 1.
There's no more number 1 anymore?
I'm
How
very
are we
sorry.
going to count this down?
I don't know. It's going to be anticlimactic.
Oh, no.
Because we're going to get to 2, and then that's going to be
And
it.
it's just going to hard cut out?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, keep
want
listening.
That. Now I want that to happen so badly.
know. Keep listening.
And just put number 1 online.
Okay, the last number 14 came from January 12th.
Fuck.
Number 13 is coming from January 5th. Not 1 week before.
That's
or
before.
1 week before. Yeah, it is before. Yes, we're time traveling.
So it can go that way.
Yes.
They don't have to go in
They're
the
not
order in
chronological.
which they were recorded. Okay, that's
No,
good to know.
Otherwise, that would be very anticlimactic. It would just culminate in last week's, and it would be
Right.
the 15 before that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, good. All right, this
How would that system work where if one got votes and then it was like, well, that gets knocked out because this one comes
There's a
along.
more recent
Then
one.
it's a more recent one.
I mean, if you're interested in that kind of countdown, just listen to them in order. And they're probably good that way. They probably get better and better as they go along, as we
bet
get
they
more
do.
experience.
I
The
bet they do.
7,000 hours. Is it 7,000?
10,000.
10,000.
I wish it was 7,000.
Jumped ahead of some of my peers on that one.
I'd love to have 3,000 extra hours.
Oh my gosh. Think of all the Blu-rays I could catch up on. By the way, I have a theory about the voting.
Yeah.
I think some of these ones with catchy titles are easier to vote for when something takes fire, like Bang Bang Into Your Mouth. We sang it over and over during this episode.
So that's a moment that people can seize on immediately.
And go, oh yeah, I liked that
I remember
one.
that.
So Too Much Tuna, people know Too Much Tuna, so they voted for that. Bang Bang Into Your Mouth. I think the more simple the title is, some of these, we base the episode titles on something that is either done or said in the actual episode. And some of them that are very complicated, sometimes that does not work out. Sometimes it does work out. A complicated title sometimes just strikes people's fancy.
But like a real complex title like Is Y'all My Daddy? People are like, I don't remember anything
I think
about that.
that's why it was so high up, because it's very easy to remember. Oh yeah, that's the one where Professor Stillwater or J.W. Stillwater finds his daddy.
Not high enough.
Not high enough. I'm so sorry about that. I think you'll be pleased with this countdown, though. Don't worry about your pretty little head. Don't worry about your pretty little head.
I worry about it sometimes.
These guys have improvised together a lot. Ben is a very ebullient. Ebullient? Is it ebullient?
It is.
It shouldn't be.
Why not? What's more ebullient sounding? Ebullient
that's
or
obnoxious.
ebullient?
It's obnoxious. Ebullient. Who wants to say that?
I want to.
I'm striking from the record.
I want to say, I
Nope.
guess we can't talk about
Sorry,
it anymore.
you get the number one, I get ebullient.
I had an English teacher in my senior year of high school who just passed away recently.
Oh, I'm so
and
sorry.
he was a great teacher, but he was like a caricature, like a movie version of a really intelligent, tough teacher, like a John Houseman type of
like
very
a stand and deliver type.
Well, not tough in that way. He did not.
Oh, okay. Not an Edward James Olmos type?
Not that way. He was a little too kindly, I think, Edward James
Was
Olmos.
he? I never saw it.
Apparently.
Like a Dangerous Mind situation?
No.
Not a woman?
I'm gonna say not a woman, did not sit in a chair backwards.
The one thing that Michelle Pfeiffer is known for in
He
that
was
film.
very pointed and very brusque and very
A paper chase type situation.
Yeah, like John Houseman, like I fucking said at first.
John Hodgman. They get mistaken for each other a lot,
Sure
don't
they
they?
do. Yeah. Sure they do. But he one time asked us, his name was Dr. Horn, and he asked us, Dr. Thomas Horn, if memory serves, and he asked us, what is the most beautiful word in the English language? And then we all had to hazard guesses.
Right.
And he kept telling us, no, wrong.
What were some of
Incorrect.
some of the guesses? What were some of the guesses?
Oh, like
Pussy.
Kite.
Kite?
Pussy.
Pussy.
Pussy. That's right. The word,
Mr. Horn? Is it
Dr. Horn?
Dr. Horn? I'm so sorry. Is it pussy? Would you have been kicked out of class for that?
Ruined this story for me.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it was a Catholic school. You absolutely would have been kicked out of class for that.
So he says no.
He says no, and then he eventually says, I will tell you what the most beautiful word in the English language is. Vermilion.
The color?
Yeah, it almost
It's not a beautiful color.
It's not a beautiful. It's a fine color.
It's fine, but nothing
verm.
special.
It has verm in it.
It's like vermin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a heartbeat away from vermin.
Yeah. Vermicelli, which means like worms.
Right. Yeah. Come on. Get out of here, Dr. Horn. Oh, you did.
He did.
Sorry.
He got all the way out of here.
Dr. Horn, teachers are our most precious resource, and we thank you for your service in creating Paul F. Tompkins as we know and love him today. I hope they play that at his funeral.
Probably.
Or they have a new funeral every year and they play that at this year.
Why can't you have a funeral for somebody every year?
Why do we have to just forget about people?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say, well, let's have the funeral before you die, like to hear all the nice things. Tom
Well, of
Sawyer
course
style.
people are going to be nice.
Yeah.
If you're there,
if you know the person's standing there, you're not going to be honest about it.
You got to fake your own death, Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn style. Or if you're going to renew your vows, if you get married, why can't your widow or widower renew your funeral?
Yes.
Every so
renew
often.
Renew your funeral.
Yes.
He's still dead.
Every 5 years.
What if you had to renew your funeral in order to make them stay dead? How many people would actually do it? I think it'd be half and half.
Would you come back to life?
Like people would come back to life if you didn't renew your funeral.
How would you come back to life? Would it be like, "I zombie"?
You'd be like, "Respect my neck."
No.
No, if a person came back to life if they didn't renew a funeral, I bet half the people
Respect your neck.
Which I believe that joke, by the way, this is getting back to Adrian Brody on SNL. Look it up if you haven't seen it. I believe.
But you know what? Let me, please, do look it up.
Please look it up.
Please look that up.
One of the great joys of my life is watching that occasionally.
I seared into my brain.
Oh, we watch it all the time. But I believe he says he thinks it's so funny that instead of saying respect, they say respect.
Right.
That he then goes to my neck as a rhyme. Oh, I love it so much.
He's banned from SNL forever.
You're banned for saying respect.
The last thing I want on my live shows, unexpected things.
You know what, though? I'm on his side on this
Oh,
one.
absolutely. Absolutely.
It is terrible.
Absolutely. But lift the ban on Steven Seagal. Come on,
Lift it on
Lord.
him, but-
He's a great guy.
I think, and I truly believe this, I think Adrian Brody should be banned from everything after that. Like, going to the Oscars, I think people should be like, not today, man.
What about those razor commercials that he did
Yep.
with
Oh,
Andre
especially
3000?
those. Don't get me started on those.
DGM is.
So that was, you pulled it out of the last minute. I really appreciate
That's
that.
touch and go.
All right, this is your number 12. We're jumping ahead in time a little bit to May 18, episode 351.
From January to May?
That's right.
Whoa.
This is, we were breaking off another half hundo, episode 351, and this is an
You're
episode.
counting half hundos now?
Yeah, I certainly am.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
I believe on the half hundo we had Andy Richter and Andy Daly together.
I feel like it lessens the impact of the hundo if you're counting the
You're
half
right.
hundos.
You're right. I'm so sorry. I will not do that any longer.
Wow. I'm
Gulp.
very pleased with
Taking
the
a little-
result.
Taking a little sip of water. All right, here we go. This is an episode called CBB the Movie. CBB the Movie with Hayes Davenport,
Oh.
Sean Clements.
See, now it's funny about the titles because
Your
didn't-
eyes glazed over.
I didn't remember it by the
They
title.
rolled into the back of your head and you
All the way.
dropped to the ground.
My mouth was foaming. I had a little tiny seizure.
Now, if we had come up with some sort of interesting catchphrase in that it had been titled, maybe people would know what it was. But this episode was so popular, it transcended the somewhat generic title of CBB the Movie.
Right.
This is an episode starring the guys from Hollywood Handbook, which is a very funny podcast.
One of my favorite shows. So funny.
Now, I first met them. I just heard they were UCB guys. They wanted a show on the network, and they wanted to do. It was their show started out as something called the Reality Show because they love reality shows, especially the MTV Challenge.
Yes.
And I met them at a coffee bean by my old place, and they pitched me the show, and I didn't really. I heard they were really funny, but I didn't get a sense of it necessarily.
Oh, they're terrible in conversation. Not funny.
I'm not saying that. I'm just
I'm saying it. They're
Really?
the worst.
I have great conversations with
Really?
them. Yeah, I do.
Oh, no, thank you.
But I didn't get a sense of what their sense of humor was. I was just like, oh, I hear they're funny and they want to do a reality show. Let's do it. They stopped doing that show and they started doing this show, which has become just one of the more interesting shows on the Earwolf Network. Just a wildly funny show that has rabid fans. And I knew I wanted to have them on the show because their show wasn't getting the love that it sort of needed to get. It was one of the tinier shows on the network, and everyone was talking about how it was the most fun show and so funny.
Interesting you say not the love that it deserved, but the love it needed to get. Interesting business perspective.
Well, it's not a bit. I mean, needed
isn't
to,
it?
Needed to get in the sense of like
To continue.
No, it deserves it. It was another way to phrase it. Deserves.
It's on
that
the
love.
bubble. You're saying it's on the bubble.
No, we're not canceling it. And in fact, we don't need to anymore because it's doing great.
Good.
So what happened?
You're
was-
welcome.
I don't know what you did,
Well.
but okay, great. I started having Hayes and Sean on to read ads with me because I was
so fun.
I would be, for some reason, I would be either recording on a Saturday. They record their show on Saturdays. I would be recording on Saturday, or I would come in and have to do ads, and they were always around. I was like, guys, come in and do these ads with me. And these ads turned into sometimes 10-minute long
They're
ads.
so long.
They're really long.
So long.
But they were so funny, and I feel like if you're an advertiser, you're getting 10 minutes.
Of course.
So they were doing these ads with me, and I was putting them into several episodes, trying to prime the pump for okay, now you know these guys' rhythms.
Yes.
So when they're on the
Rhythms.
episode, rhythms.
You know their rhythms.
The rhythms.
Hear them now.
The rhythms. now that they're on the show, you kind of like know what they do and you're ready for it. And that's kind of what happened here. I finally had them on the real show. We kept saying their advertisements were an audition to be on Comedy Bang Bang if they were funny enough. And of course they were way funnier than me on it. And so this episode has a lot of fans.
No, Scott, of course you're hilarious. Scott was, for the listeners, Scott was staring at me pointedly.
Yeah, with eyes just
after he said they
boring
were
into a skull. That's exactly what I was doing. I may also have been looking at my notes here.
And he kicked me under the table.
That's true. And I'll do it over the table if you don't straighten up. So they have a lot of fans, a lot of rabid fans, and they all voted for this. And some of their people who, this is just a really great episode. So,
that was a funny episode.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot during it.
Yeah, LOL.
I did. I laughed out loud. Mm-hmm. I actually did laugh out loud a number of times. I remember I listened to this in the car I was working somewhere and I had an hour.
Working somewhere. I don't know.
What I really am curious as to how in your brain
it had
that became
approximate amount of syllables.
I was working
has been a while.
somewhere.
Working somewhere.
No,
had kind of deridum. Had deridum on.
It didn't. I think there's something wrong with your brain.
It had deridum.
It had deridum.
Speaking of deridum, we'll get to that story about you driving around in a car by yourself.
I listened to it was like some miserable drive that I had to make early in the morning, and it was a long drive, and I listened to that the whole way, and it turned my day around.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. And that's why we do this show, I think, is to turn people's day. And that's why people do comedy in general, I think, to turn those frowns upside down. That's really why I got into the business, is the frown upside down biz.
Oh, I'm trying to fill a hole inside me.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah. But it will never get filled.
Oh, it never will.
It'll never get filled.
What was that caused by?
Ooh, let's see.
Teachers like Dr. Horn?
No, Dr. Horn, tough but fair. Vermilion.
I'm not backing him on that one.
Botulism. The most beautiful word.
Syphilis.
Syphilis.
HIV positive.
Syphilis is actually a pretty word.
It is. You know what else is? Chlamydia.
Chlamydia.
Chlamydia. I'm never getting rid of ya.
My darling chlamydia.
We have to go to, speaking of darling chlamydia, we need to go to a break. Let's go to a
chlamydia
break. When we come back, we will have your number 11.
And chlamydia.
Comedy Bang Bang, we're back here. Scott Aukerman here with Paul F. Tompkins, and we're just blazing through it. Although it doesn't feel like... Are you going to do that every single thing I say?
How have we established that
I just want to nip it in the bud before you get started.
You know me too well.
Yeah, because you're going to run this into the ground.
Oh, I'm going to run it into the ground. I'm going to run it.
Who's this guy?
I don't know. I don't know where he came from.
I'm going to run this
I'm going to run it into the ground.
New character.
No, that will destroy my throat.
Oh my God. I mean, Charles already.
Charles is actually easier to do.
By the way, was Classic Charles, was its inception, it was this year, right?
Yeah.
We're not hearing any Classic Charles clips on the countdown, I'm afraid to say. Even though he has appeared in some of our top 14 episodes, we're just not hearing those clips.
Are there no bonus?
We're not doing any. We will have in a few episodes down the line. We're going to have something, but we're not doing bonus. This took up so much of my. What?
Not doing what?
Bonus? bonus? Okay.
This was a very fun episode for me. I love playing with Gillian. She's hilarious. And she's so much fun.
People would know her from Community.
And The Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
And the upcoming Love.
That's right, on Netflix.
Netflix with Paul Rust.
That's right, Rusty.
We'll be talking about that in the new year.
Can I tell you a quick story about
Please
Paul Rust?
Yes.
My wife, Janie, and our friend Cynthia. Cynthia had a party at her home, and Janie was there, and so was Paul's wife-to-be, Leslie.
He was getting married soon.
It was very soon. And Leslie said to Janie and Cynthia, "Oh, you guys should come to our wedding." And then we were not invited to the wedding. She's like, "You should just come."
Just come
And
by.
like,
Just drop in.
Well, no, we don't want to like, whatever, crash your wedding and, whatever. We know like, because everybody had been married. It's like, we know that's.
She was having a good time with you at this party and was like, yeah.
I wasn't there.
Oh,
I
you
was
weren't
not
even there. This is just Janie.
This is just Janie.
JJ.
J.J.
Abrams.
J. Jonah Janie. My wife. So Leslie's saying, no, please come. It would make me so happy if I looked up and I saw you guys there. Please just come to the wedding. Wow. And so Janie tells me this, like, we're going to go. And I'm like, are you sure
sounds
about
weird.
this? Yes. And I said, was she drunk when she said this? Like, no, she doesn't drink. Mm-hmm. She was totally sober.
Right.
She was very insistent, like, you guys should come to the wedding. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know about this. And so it's like a month later and the wedding is happening. Mm-hmm. And so they're very excited. Janie and Cynthia's husband Mike, like, let's do this. We're gonna crash this wedding. Like, okay, guys, okay, let's do it. So get all dressed up, meet at Mike and Cynthia's, and then on the way from our house to Mike and Cynthia's house, 5-minute drive. Like dread is mounting. Like, we should not do
dripping
this.
sweat.
We should not do this.
Albert Brooks and broadcast news.
Exactly. I'm sitting on my jacket, and so. I get into their house and I say, I'm really having second thoughts about this, about doing this. And they're like, come on, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We'll just go and we'll leave.
Had anyone sent any kind of email reminder of like, hey, we're still going to crash your wedding or
Yeah, those guys had.
Oh, okay.
No, not to Leslie. No,
not to Leslie.
No,
okay.
not at all. Just to us.
To each
like,
other.
Can't wait to do this.
Oh boy.
And so they say, come on, it'll be fun. We'll leave right after the ceremony, so we're not like taking up any food or drink or whatever at the reception. I'm like, okay.
There's always leftover food and drink, though.
No, I know, but it's
most of the time.
But it's if you have been married and you've thrown a wedding,
and I pray that you are married.
And well, if you've invited more than 10 people, you know that it's like it's a pain,
right.
and it's like it's not so much that it's a pain, but it's.
Doing your impression. Pains.
I swear to God, I was like, what is that? So so they convinced me, so we go to the wedding. And ideally what would have happened was we would get there 1 minute before it started,
right?
Watch the ceremony and then leave immediately. So we get there.
Leave a Paul-shaped hole in the wall.
Exactly. And you can see by the outline of my body, I did not take any food or drinks. Open hand.
Wait, is that a hot dog? No, that's just his weird hand.
Hot dog. Yeah, they had a carnival-themed wedding. So we get there, and of course, the wedding is not starting on time because no wedding starts on time.
Sure, except for one.
Whose?
Sarah Altman.
Oh, that's right.
We pulled up
our friend
as they were walking out.
Nerd Poker cast member Sarah Gazzardo.
Oh my goodness!
Her wedding started exactly
on time. We got there at say it started at 6. We got there at 6:17, and they were they were coming out of the.
I was the officiant of that wedding, and I saw you guys.
And we got there, and they're walking out, and we're like going up to the valet, and Kulop's like, drive. I'm like, what? She's like, floor it, mister. All of a sudden, I'm the wheelman. And so I had to drive around the block, and she's like, just keep driving around the block until like they go back in and they can't see that we got there late.
And they took pictures
and they took pictures
like an hour.
And Kulop was just like, there's no way around it. We're going to have to. And she seemed fine with it.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
So we get to the place where the wedding is going to be, and it's I'm so
undisclosed location. We don't want any of you fucking weirdos going around sniffing the seats.
That's right. So we get there, and of course, because I know Paul, I don't know him well enough to be invited to his wedding, but I know him, and so.
And do you have any idea if he knows that you were asked to crash?
No, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Oh,
no one has been in touch with Leslie at all.
Situation.
So I get there, and of course, there's a million people that I know from just around,
right.
And I feel so self-conscious because I feel like everyone's looking at me like, I didn't think Paul knew Paul that well.
Weirdly, you and I never crossed paths during it. I kept going, "Where's Paul?" Maybe were you avoiding me because you didn't want to?
No, I
saw you walk in. I was like, "Oh, I got to make my way over to Paul," and I never got over to you.
Here's why: because we could not stay still. We kept moving around. We were just trying,
like nervous energy.
Yes, because and now this was great. Now they're all nervous too. Like as soon as we got there, we're like, "Yeah, guys, this was a terrible idea." Right. And we're all very uncomfortable. And so at the one point the wedding is getting ready to start, and so we go kind of sit in the back, and then an usher, somebody from their party, comes over and says, "Oh no, we want people to sit closer." I'm like, no,
you do not.
We get up and we go hide. And now I had shot stuff there in this venue. Yeah, I shot the sheriff there.
What about the deputy?
No, that was a different show.
Oh, okay.
And so I said, let's
shot
go.
She's the Sheriff there.
Yeah. We've talked about this.
Yeah, of course.
Many times.
Many times.
I'll give you that one. So I say, let's go downstairs. There's a bar downstairs. Let's go check out the bar, because I used to film Speakeasy there.
Right. Oh, really?
And so,
not when I did it, but okay.
No.
Interesting.
The bulk of Speakeasy we shot at this bar. And so we went downstairs and we're like kind of looking around, and then we emerge from this little room. And we see Neil Campbell, best man Neil Campbell, who gives me a look of absolutely surprise. Of like,
I don't think so. Really?
I don't know. I can't judge it.
I'll check in with him about it.
Then we turn around. Then when Neil looks past us and we turn around, we see the groom, Paul Russ, and and he looks at us so briefly. And in my mind, it was a look of, what the fuck are you doing here?
You didn't want to be a distraction, I'm sure.
I'm sure he has way more things on his mind.
Way more
he's not even seeing a face.
No, he's just like, am I going to cry? Am I going to cry?
He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind.
Yeah.
So, but it felt horrible. It felt horrible. And so the wedding begins. And so we're sitting, we're like,
et cetera, et cetera.
Paul enters with his mom and dad. Very sweet. They kiss him and leave him at the altar. Leslie enters with her family. My wife and I stand up.
Right.
No one else in the entirety of this.
And by the way, I saw you tweet about how, you're the only one who knows that it's polite to stand when the bride comes in. That was the second wedding I'd been to that week. In neither... no one did.
It was us and one other person.
I think it's a new thing or something where people don't stand. And
but how does everyone know?
I don't know. I think no one wants to do it. Maybe. And so if no one is going to, but I also think that there are certain people who lead that kind of thing. Like, is this one of these ones where we stand?
Guess who it was not? It was not us.
Right. Well, you were in the back.
No, we were in the back.
If you had been in the front, everyone would have done it.
Someone who was closer to the front, who was the only other person that stood, was Michael Showalter. Was the only person. And he and my wife made eye contact, like shrugging shoulders, like, why are people not getting up? And we stood for the whole long entrance of Leslie to the altar, and then we sat down.
I thought about it, and I was just like, why does anyone? Who cares if anyone stands? I was happy to sit.
I'm fine with who cares if anyone stands, but I just didn't understand.
You want to know?
How does everyone know?
I don't know. I couldn't figure, but because I had just been to a wedding 5 days earlier or so, that no one did, and there was no expectation because it was an unconventional wedding. And I think I was in that headspace where I was like, I did, but I've been to this is the year that I went to, I believe, 9 weddings or something like that.
Wow.
And at every other one, we all stood. So I don't know what happened in the brain for that particular week where people are just like, fuck this.
I don't know. And I've been the officiant at a handful of weddings now. I've never had to tell people, and now please stand for the bride. People just did it.
People just do it.
People did it.
I think there is usually, if they want it, there's usually someone who initiates.
Yeah.
As in, hey, we're all standing. But you know what is worse? And I made sure, I was the officiant at a wedding this year myself. What is worse is I've been to a wedding recently where no one said, please be seated. And people had to stand for a lot of the wedding. It was so
they didn't get like, okay, when they're set, you can just sit down.
Well, yeah, because the person just launched into the thing the minute like the bride went there, and everyone's standing and no one wants to interrupt.
Right.
It was really bad.
Now, very quickly, as the officiant at a wedding, have you dealt with like wedding planners and stuff like that?
There was a little bit of that where I was trying. I never met the wedding planner until maybe an hour before the wedding, and I was trying to kind of give them the feeling that they were really stressed out about what I was going to do.
Oh, yes.
And I was trying to give them a feeling of like, I'm a professional. I think I am going to be fine at this. But I think they're used to dealing with, regulars, non-coms.
Yes, of course.
All the time.
Probably.
people who aren't used to speaking in public, and they were trying to like drill in me what was but I can get my blocking, and like remember it right away.
But every time I've done it, I've been treated like garbage.
Yes, I
by
would.
the wedding planner.
I don't want to say that in case someone knows who I don't think anyone knew
I'll
that
say
person.
it to my friends. They treated me like garbage. It's long enough now.
Right.
I think the most recent one was 2 years ago.
They treat you like an idiot.
They treat you like you're a busboy or something, like the hired help or whatever. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, hey, here's how it is, stupid. Where are you going to stand? Do you know where you're going to stand?
Yeah.
One guy, the last time I did it, a guy on the staff like grabbed my upper arm to move me somewhere, and I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm sorry, Mr. Tompkins.
He realized, well, no, he had no idea who I was.
But he just
oh,
realized.
yeah, I realized I crossed the line there.
Well, but stress is so high of like, they're hired to make sure it goes well, and they can't have some jerk just going, yeah. So I understand a little bit.
But I feel like there should be some indication that I'm going to be that way before you treat me that way.
Yeah.
Like if I'm showing up and I'm clearly a competent person.
True, but I also think that we're used to getting direction. Being an actor sometimes is like that. It's almost like the army where you like take direction and you just like, you're able to memorize that stuff really well.
Right.
And so when they say, okay, you're going to go up at this point, you're going to make a right, you're going to move the mic at this point, I was just like, I just checked through it in my mind and said, okay.
Right.
But I think most people are not used to taking blocking or taking direction like that.
That could be true. But do you think, that could be true? Do you think it's that?
You don't get to do it on your own. You son of a bitch. It's based on something the other person says.
I don't even care what I was going to say now.
Technicality, no damn boo.
There we go.
All right, we do have to get to our next episode.
Technicality, no damn boo.
Technicality, no damn boo over. We're cracking the top 10.
Cracking the top 10.
Cracking a top 10.
Do you remember baking a plain cake?
Yep, I do. Remember that from 4 years ago or so? Taking a plane break?
A couple studios ago.
Yeah. Boy, wow. Yeah. I almost wanted to cue Ryan for it, but he has no idea what it is.
That was before Ryan.
Wait, he does?
He does?
Engineer Cody Ryan has it? Here, let's hear it. Oh, boy, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I actually got lightheaded from that.
Yeah, you were screaming at the top of your lungs. I couldn't even do that scream.
Ooh, boy, I can't even do it I can't even do it at the pitch that the singer does.
Guys, he's high, sings it high.
We used to sing Taking a Plane Break because back in the very first studio, not where we started the show, because that was at Indie 103.1 in their studio, but when we moved to the first Earwolf Studios.
On 103.1 Street.
Yes, we.
What was it? It was something like that. That was also the address.
It was also the
was
building,
the floor.
Yeah, right. It was floor 103.1, and above us was 103.2 or something.
That's right.
But in our first Earwolf studio, it was in basically almost like a crack house.
Yeah, it was a weird neighborhood.
Was skeevy.
Yeah, it was skeevy.
Right next to a medical marijuana place, and also right next to an alley where there were people constantly foraging for recyclables, I believe.
There was also a casting office in that same building.
So you'd see people occasionally that you knew, and you'd be like ashamed, like you were going to buy crack somewhere, and they knew that.
Or be cast in something.
Right, that even worse. And we would hear air traffic a lot, and we would hear planes overhead a lot. And so anytime we heard a plane that was really loud, I would play that song in order to cover up the noise of the plane, and we would sing Taking a Plane Break no matter what happened. Mm-hmm. And I still to this day get people saying they miss plane breaks. And that was our holiday when Paul F. Tompkins here was playing Cake Boss. He was doing his character Cake Boss. Intentionally, after we moved to a soundproof studio, we intentionally sang one when people were saying, I really miss him. You said that you were baking a plain cake.
Well, it was this long setup where you were asking me, what has anyone ever asked you to do a cake with no decoration?
No frosting.
What would you be doing then? It was like this, it was this very convoluted thing to get me to say the phrase
baking a plain cake. And then we played that and we sang Baking a Plain Cake. A great moment in Comedy Bang Bang history.
A GM in CBBH.
But speaking of GMs and CBBH, we are here. I am Scott Aukerman, your host, of course, for Comedy Bang Bang, and I'm here with my good friend Paul F. Tompkins.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins. We are show business friends, and we are counting down.
And we are real life enemies. A lot of people don't know that about us. The minute the mics are turned off,
constantly plotting to destroy each other.
Hasn't happened yet. And some really great clips on this episode. I'm really pleased as punch.
I'm glad to hear that. You know what? Here's what I was worried about, Scott.
Yeah, man.
I thought, hear me now. I thought that
the rhythm
that we would hear great clips in the first chunk of best ofs, and then this one.
They were going to be terrible. No,
but
I
then
think
you're telling me they're good.
No, these ones in this episode, I think A+.
More than C+, which is
the
your
highest
standard grade.
Yes,
You're saying, why do we need other grades? C+ is above average.
Sorry, I ever did that. No,
you should be.
Really? I'm proud of it.
Here's what happens though: is that people take those references.
A lot of times,
apply them to other things.
Can I say to anyone who is a fan of the show, who knows the C+ inside joke, don't send that to guests on the show who don't know the joke without explanation.
Yeah.
Because occasionally people who don't know the ins and outs of this program, and why would they, are on the show, they think they did a great job, and someone sends them a tweet saying, C+ job. And they're like, what? They go, why would I ever go back to this show? So please, just send nice things.
Do you know who does it the most is people who listen to Hollywood Handbook.
Yeah.
And the craziest references, they will tweet to other people and people don't know. And I had an exchange with Lauren Lapkus where she was like, she texted me, said, do you know why people are writing to me saying they want to eat my hair? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. And I had to send her the whole explanation of that, which is from an ad those guys did on their show.
Oh, jeez.
And so she was like, all right. I kind of figured that. And then like a day later, she tweeted out, whenever anyone sends me something that I don't understand, I figure it must be a Hollywood Handbook reference.
Right. Well, people send me and you, I would presume, references from this show all the time. Especially when the episodes come out, I will wake up sometimes and there will be a ton of stuff in my inbooks that I don't. I don't remember the episodes that well after.
I look into my inbooks.
In my inbooks.
What's this now?
What's this?
Who?
In my inbooks.
The devil, you say, in my inbooks.
What is that? What is that?
That's Wales.
What dialect is that?
Wales.
Oh, so Michael Sheen.
It's like a mix. It's a mixture between Welsh and Scottish.
What's in my inbooks?
What's the devil is in my inbooks?
I feel like I can do that better than I can do Irish.
As
I've proved.
Your legendary Irish accent.
I thought I had a lock on that.
There was an episode of this show that I think we recorded in March, and I was trying to get you to say Morch.
Morch.
And you could. I don't think you remembered.
It. Yeah, Morch. I remember it now because people remind me of it.
Morch.
It takes me a little while to catch up to it, but I'll get the inside jokes. By the way, recent pyramid news. Speaking of inside jokes.
That's right.
There was some recent pyramid news.
Dr. Ben Carson.
A couple years ago. How did it come about? I said recent pyramid news?
It was, I would think I was Richard Harrow.
Okay.
And there was somehow, we were talking about pyramids, and you were kind of giving me a hard time because I don't know. It was like not.
I think I
can't remember.
I was saying, like, have we gotten any recent pyramid news? And you pointed it out. I think, but
maybe.
And since then, there has been recent pyramid news with Dr. Ben Carson,
who says that the ancient Egyptians put
grain in there. Stored grain
in there
in those solid triangles.
That's right.
Ben Carson, by the way, awfully close to Bill Cosby.
Really?
Ben Carson,
so?
Bill Cosby. Ben Carson,
the
Bill
names,
Cosby.
not as a person.
Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, Dr. Bill Cosby, Dr. Ben Carson, Dr. Bill Cosby.
Bart the Bear from The Edge.
Bart the Bear.
Bart the Bear. Bill Cosby.
Bart the Bear.
The Bears.
Bart the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
So close.
Ben Carson. The Bears. Welcome to the show. This is what you're going to get. Every year in December for the last couple of weeks, Paul F. Tompkins and I collect ourselves. What am I trying to say?
We collect ourselves? Well, we come in quite a state.
Oh, my goodness. And then we have to collect ourselves.
We've had crazy days.
Oh, my goodness. Heavens.
I got caught in the rain. I had a newspaper over my head.
Oh, I have the vapors.
We get down on our fainting couches. Someone comes in with smelling salts. brings us around. They snap at our faces.
Isn't that what smelling salts are? They break them open like this? I used to think when I read about them.
That's a modern medical thing, I think. That they actually have vials that
snaps.
they snap.
Yeah. When I read about them, I assumed it was like a salt shaker that they would like pour in your face.
I always pictured it as a jar. Like a weird little jar.
Like a jar someone farts in and then opens it up under your nose.
Exactly what I thought. Scott, how did you know? It's like you're reading my mind.
Wait a minute. Maybe I can read minds.
Yeah, this probably
Did it take that long to find out?
This probably proves it.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? It's like limitless.
I've always said I might be bulletproof.
You might be.
I don't want to find out.
That's right.
But I very well could be.
I want that pill. Give me that pill.
Give me that pill. What if limitless was just that? Give me that pill.
Hey, I want that pill.
Hey, I'm watching you.
Give me that pill. I see you with that pill. I want it.
I'm walking here.
Give me that pill.
Give me that pill. Analyze this. Analyze that.
Did they ever get to analyze the other thing?
Oh my gosh. Harold Ramis passed away too soon. Oh. R2D too soon.
R2D too soon. He was a robot.
He was a robot. Yeah, Harold Ramis was a robot.
Harold Ramis was a
robot. Don't joke about iRobot, though.
Please don't.
Take care, please.
Guys.
If we can impart upon you one thing during this holiday season, and it is Christmas Eve, by the way.
Yes.
This Christmas, don't joke about iRobot. Stop it.
What a wonderful song that would be.
This Christmas, don't joke about iRobot. We should record it.
There's so much stuff to joke about.
We should record it this
We
year.
should record that for next year.
For next year. We'll do.
Yes.
Okay.
This Christmas.
Keep us to that. We'll forget about it.
Is it this Christmas? Don't make
This
fun of
Christmas,
iRobot?
don't joke about iRobot. That is the
Okay.
title, and it'll be country and western.
All right.
Okay, great.
I'm
Country
on board.
and western.
Will it have like a little spoken word breakdown?
Of course. But of course. We'll get special guests on it too. It'll be like a We Are the World type thing.
We haven't done one of those in a while.
Okay. In a while. Ooh, baby. This is okay. This is episode 365. As many episodes as there are days in this year, not next year.
That's wild. That's right. Next year
is wild.
Next year.
That is wild. That is weird.
Wild stuff.
Crazy stuff.
Wild.
Wild.
I feel like I still can't do it.
That is wild.
What is wrong with me?
Apparently.
That is wild.
Apparently. That's another word that gets me into Apparently.
With the finger.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, that is wild. That is Carson, of course.
Of course, that is Carson. Ben Carson.
Great Carson.
That is
Ben Carson. Dr. Bill Cosby Carson.
I cut open a human skull. That was wild.
Pyramids were used for grain. That is wild.
I think I should be president. That is wild.
That's the wildest of them all. Not to get political.
Yeah, not to get political.
But he's a weirdo.
He's a fucking weirdo.
He's a strange human being.
He's a really weird dude.
All right. Apologies if you listen to this show and you're somehow a supporter of him. I don't know how that would.
No, not from me though. No apologies from me.
Okay. Apologies from me.
Guess what? You're a weirdo.
Okay. Episode 365, July 27. We're in the midpoint. We're about like hump week.
Saturday in the park. I think it was July 27th.
Boy, Jimmy Pardo just got 3 boners popping through his skull. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall.
Popping through his skull.
Yeah, like boom, boom, and just like pops through his eye holes at the back of his head.
What's wrong with you?
What? That's what I imagine.
Why is that even?
What? That's what happened.
Why is that an image that you have in your brain?
They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just got in.
The
Chicago.
3 boners?
The 3 boners.
The 3 boners that pierced Jimmy's skull?
Okay, do you think a band could have the name The 3 Boners and get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, Cheap Trick got in there.
Oh, yeah. And what does that mean again?
That means a prostitute who doesn't
Who's
charge
inexpensive.
a lot. Inexpensive.
Yeah, Chicago's in, and I think Jimmy's going to do everything in his power to be there.
To be at the induction ceremony?
To be at the induction ceremony. Because what if Satara gets in there and like sings a song with him? After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. Dum bum 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 bum.
And after all that's been said and done, you're just a part of me I can't let go.
Dum dum bum bum. Do you want to be there? We should go.
Yeah, we should go. We should go and make it so that Jimmy can't go.
Yeah, we should take his seats.
Two guys that don't care.
We should bully him. We should meet him outside the thing.
Bully him?
And we should kick his ass and steal his tickets.
Yeah, start shoving him back and forth between us.
Hey, Pounk. Pounk.
Pounk. Hey, Pounk. What are you in my books?
Hey, Pounk. We're here for Satara.
That's the Midlands. That's how they talk in the Midlands.
Oh, the Midland. I got to get there someday.
Gotta get there.
Gotta get there. All right, we have to take two breaks.
We have to take 2 breaks. Me hitting you and you hitting the floor.
You breaking the floor.
Breaking the floor. Breaking the floor.
Breaking the floor. Breaking the floor.
Oh, you doing a little Beavis and
I'm
Butthead.
doing Breaking the Law.
Sure.
Parody. We need to take 2 breaks. We'll be right back with more Comedy Bang Bang after this. Hey guys, I would love to celebrate the holidays with you. Hey guys, I would love to celebrate the holidays with you. Comedy Bang Bang, we're back here with Paul F. Tompkins.
Those are 2 good breaks.
So, and I believe we probably did do 2 breaks. I'm not sure.
I bet we did.
Welcome back. We've cracked the top 10, and rightfully so. Who better than us?
We've cracked them. Like it's a case we had to solve.
Yeah, it was a cold case.
And who better than us?
What are these top 10 going to be? We got to get this in the black.
Scott, I feel like we're like the Sherlock and Watson of cracking the top 10.
Who am I?
Who would you like to be?
I don't want to be Sherlock. He's so cool.
I think you have to be because you're taller.
And he's a heroin addict.
I thought he was a cocaine addict.
Oh, I thought he was a heroin as well.
It was the 7% solution.
I'm not sure.
Which was cocaine and heroin, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Speedball, as they call it. Yeah, the famous Marvel character, Speedball.
Did they ever?
Based on that? No, it wasn't based on that. Cloak and Dagger, though, they were.
Oh, that's right.
They took drugs to get their powers.
They were in the inner city. Did they take drugs to get their powers?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were
That's a lot like Limitless, too.
I want that pill.
I want that pill.
Give me that pill.
Hey, analyze
give
this.
me that pill.
Analyze this and that.
There's a commercial now for that movie Joy, where I guess David O. Russell is just
the Inside Out spin-off movie, right?
Yeah. David O. Russell is just like, I don't want to have to worry about casting anymore. Just the same people all the time.
Same people. Remember, you saw this last year? You're seeing it again.
Now they have different beards and wigs.
Yeah, but that's the only difference.
But there's in the trailer, at one point, Robert De Niro's like, I'm proud of you. I got to admit, I'm proud of you. I'm proud.
Is that the very first? Is that the very first line, I wonder?
I hope it is.
Because I don't want to see like someone's emotional arc resolved in the trailer. You know what I mean?
What if it's like, it starts off with,
I'm proud of you, and then he learns to not be proud.
He learns to be ashamed. Yeah. I'm ashamed of you.
I learned. You know what I learned through this process?
Give me that pill.
Give me that pill. All right, we have to get to your next episode on the countdown.
This is making me laugh. The idea of it.
I'm going to take a drug and be smart.
And that was a TV show, right?
Yeah, it's a TV show.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Let me explain this a little bit. The first Solo Bolo episode was in our top 10 last year, I believe. And that was Ben Schwartz and I. Usually, you heard from him a little earlier in the countdown. Usually we do.
So don't be a dick. You heard from him earlier.
Come on, guys. You know who he is. Come on. The voice of BB-8. Come on.
Oh, I'm sad, BB-8. I got balls. Beep, boop.
I got balls.
I got balls.
He's got the one ball.
He's got 2 balls. He's got a ball on the top of his head.
That's not a ball.
You think that's a growth? This is a ball.
Well, because of the shape of it, it's not like a true.
It's like a half ball. It's like a
ball.
growth on a ball.
Half ball.
It's like if you had that in your testes, if you had a BB-8 in your testes, you'd be like, Doc, cut it out. Stop joking around.
And fix my balls.
Fix my balls. Balls. Okay.
Why did they not? They could have had me do the voice of BB-8.
Yeah, why Ben and not you?
Why was that not a perfect audition? I'm ball joint. I got to roll on out of here.
Honestly, I think it's the Jews sticking together, if you know what I mean.
I bet you're right.
You know what I'm saying? JJ and Ben.
Right.
You know
JJ
what I mean?
means Juju Abrams.
Juju.
And you know Ben's real name? Ben Schwartzstein.
Oh,
he shortened it to sound less Jewish.
Oh, my gosh. Boy, if I see him again, he's going to get an earful.
Of anti-Semitism?
Yes.
Great.
From me, the biggest anti-Semite in the world.
There's Mrs. Anti-Semite. She's gorgeous.
It's like Santa Claus where someone takes his name and then they give anti-Semite toys every year.
What?
Well, when I hear Mrs. Anti-Semite, it's like Mrs. Claus.
That was the opening to Heart to Heart.
Oh, when they got together, it was murder.
Yeah. That's my boss, Mr. H. He's quite a guy. that was a bold TV move. That was a TV show from the 80s. To have a secondary character. To have a secondary character, but also to hire a guy who was clearly going to drop dead any moment. We're going to make him a major character.
Did he drop dead in the middle of the filming?
I think he made it.
It was a coach situation?
I think he made it the whole run of the show.
Wow. Sometimes I think about that when you they're like, oh my God, we got this amazing actor. He's 90.
It was like Night Court went through 2 old ladies before they were like, well, let's get someone young.
Let's get someone young. Jeremy Piven. Jeremy Piven. Jeremy Piven went to UTA. Oh, yeah.
All right. You know what people said when the Entourage movie came out? Oh, no.
Mr. Belvedere style. Oh, no. That was 2015, the year that was. This is Best Week Ever with Paul F. Tompkins.
What was 2015?
The Entourage movie, yeah. Can you believe it? Mr. Belvedere also 2015.
The Mr. Belvedere reboot?
Mr. Belvedere's sitting on his own balls.
Freaks on the China.
They put like a little scratching behind it.
So Solo Bolo, what is it? Ben Schwartz, when he is on the show, we usually do a segment before the character comes on of just us riffing. And one day he said, why don't we do the whole show like this? And thus a Solo Bolo was born.
How did that happen? Had the first one, how did it happen? Because it was just the 2 of you.
It was just the 2 of us, yeah.
And was it that he suggested it in another episode?
In another episode, he said we should do a whole episode like this and call it a Solo Bolo. Meanwhile, cut to the first Solo Bolo, I say, and you named it the Solo Bolo, and he said, no, I didn't. Now cut to this Solo Bolo, Doslo, which is the second Solo Bolo. Yeah. I retell that story, and he's like, oh, did I name it? And then I told the story, and he goes, I don't think I named it. He's like, he can't get a grip on reality, this guy.
I think he is detached from reality.
He's a maniac.
I think he's mentally ill.
I do believe that he should be in a rubber room.
I do believe that he should be in a rubber room.
I'll say. All right, so Solo Bolos, basically all they are is just me, Ben, trapped in a room, a lot of riffing.
Trapped in a room.
We are trapped. It's like
it's a locked door situation?
It's a locked door situation.
Oh,
yeah, it's a locked room mystery as well. We tried to solve a mystery by the end.
Is it like one of those escape rooms?
Yeah, exactly. It's a long, complicated puzzle that if either of us can solve, we can get out. But instead, we just decide to do a show. Mm-hmm. All right, we have to get to our next episode on the countdown. Here it is. This is your number 8.
Number 8.
All right.
BB-8.
BB-8. This is episode 377. This is, I believe, no, this is not our latest episode in the countdown. This is September 21.
Pretty close, though.
And do you remember what you were doing in September? And perhaps what this episode could be?
Let's see. September.
What happens in September every year?
Back to school.
Back to school, of course. But once those kiddies are off to school, we can enjoy the Emmys.
That's right. And we do.
And we do every year. And
kids are at school, so the grown-ups can watch the Emmys.
Go off to school, young lad. I need to watch a 4-hour show about television. But when the Emmys come around, quite often we are blessed with people who are coming into town just for the Emmys and they want to do an episode of the show.
Scott, you're absolutely right. And I think I know which episode this is going to be.
This year was no exception because this is an episode called Good Night in the Morning.
Oh, yes it is.
Your episode number 8. All right, Tatiana Maslany and Christian Brune from Orphan Black. Mm-hmm. They are both big fans of the show. Mm-hmm. They listen to it every week, from what I understand. They tweet about it constantly. I did not know this. I'd been watching Orphan Black and was like, oh, wow. Those guys are awesome. Yeah. And then suddenly started receiving tweets from them. Right. I'm like, I think they listen to the show or something. And then they were constantly tweeting about it for a while. And they were like, retweeting us whenever we would tweet about the show. And it was, and we slowly started to realize that they were fans. I met them both when they came to the San Diego Comic-Con show that we did, that's in the Howl app right now, that we did with Taran Killam and some other people. Derek Waters, and also, who else was there?
Me.
You! That's right.
Were you? Is that really who you were blanking on? You were like picturing 4 people on stage. You're like, Darren Gilliam.
I've done 100 episodes this year. I can't remember the details of them all.
Well,
no, I was getting it confused with the Outside Lands one, quite honestly. I kept going, was John Gabriel
Quite
there?
honestly.
So we both met them at the San Diego Comic-Con show. And what did they come dressed as?
They came dressed as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Full costume and masks.
Full costume and mask. They assumed, because it was at Comic-Con, that there would be people in costumes there at the theater. This was a little off-site. This was maybe 5 miles away from the convention center.
Yes.
And it was mainly San Diego locals, I believe, were at the show.
Not tied into Comic-Con in any way.
They were the only people dressed up.
Yeah.
And you and I really encouraged them to come without telling them that.
But I wondered if they also had those costumes because they wanted to be able to walk around unnoticed.
I think they did, but also...
Because they would have been mobbed.
Maybe,
on
although
the
I
floor.
think they took off the masks at a certain point. Oh, they would have been mobbed on the Comic-Con floor, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
So they came as Ninja Turtles. We took pictures with them. We talked to them. We saw them the next day. Lovely people.
I didn't see them that night, though.
You didn't see them?
I didn't meet them until the next day.
Oh, okay. You met them the next day at Comic-Con.
I met them the next day at Comic-Con in it was like some weird holding area where I was there with the Thrilling Adventure Hour, and we did some signings, and we did there's this whirlwind photo thing where they have in this suite of rooms.
Right.
They have different photographers for different media outlets or whatever.
Nothing that I've been invited to, but
so,
you're really painting a picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand that. But you were just kind of taken from one room to another, and you very quickly take a bunch of pictures, and then that's it.
Mr. Tompkins, Mr. Tompkins.
No one is doing that. By the way,
look here, Mr. Tompkins.
the photographers are all like, I don't know who the fuck these people are.
I'll find out later.
Why are you making me do
That's
this?
how I feel when I do. I am encouraged to walk red carpets a lot these days.
It's humiliating.
It's humiliating because you see the person going up and whispering in their ear, this is Scott Aukerman, Comedy Bang Bang. They write it down to take a note of it. And then I imagine the minute I walk past them, they go, delete, 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 delete of all of their pictures.
No, I honestly think they're like, all right, I guess I'll hold on to this if I find out this person is somebody.
Right.
You never are.
Right.
But it is, I've seen people put cameras down. It's mortifying.
Cameras down, everyone. Tompkins is here.
Oh, we don't have to worry about this guy. But so so there's this room in between where you can hang out. The in-between room.
Yeah, of course.
And you can hang out there and have as many Red Bulls and Kind bars as you want.
Oh, boy.
And so that's where I met Tatiana and Christian. They I turned around and they were walking towards me, and it was adorable. They had the biggest smiles on their faces. Like it was as if we were pen pals and we had been corresponding. We're finally meeting for the first time in person.
Except it had been one-sided in a lot of ways. I mean, we watch Orphan Black.
Yeah,
but
I had seen the show, but I had never talked to them in any way.
Right.
Maybe once on that weekend on Twitter or something. They were the sweetest people, and they were clearly huge comedy fans.
Yeah, so it's Canadians. That's the only thing that explains it.
There's such a honestly, I really do think that's what it is, because there's such a strong comedic sensibility in Canada, because they're a big country with a relatively small population, and their comedy scene is insanely strong for the amount of people that populate their country.
They love to laugh.
They love to laugh.
They got nothing better to do up there,
But they produce great comedy, but also I think they produce great comedy fans.
Yes. And we found that out when we went up to Toronto recently.
Yes.
Not recently, but a year or so ago, and hopefully we will be back very soon.
And those guys are both very funny in their own right, because and their storyline, because Tatiana obviously plays a million characters. She
plays it. Yeah, if you've not watched Orphan Black, you really should. It's tour de force from her, and Christian does pretty well too. Hi, Christian.
Well, I mean, he
only plays one guy.
Yes.
She plays 12 different people, and they're all wildly different.
Yeah. But the character she plays with Christian is I think kind of you could say that's the comic relief.
Yeah, she's the uptight housewife, suburban housewife who was in a musical, that musical was so good. Yeah, so they have a lot of fun together because she's playing the comic relief character, and he's sort of playing the comic relief character. Although he still has a lot of stuff going on. Don't want to spoil anything.
It's a little dark.
Don't want to spoil anything.
I want that pill.
I want that pill. We will spoil that he wants the pill. That's the one thing we will spoil.
He does want the pill.
He does want it. But so anyway, when the Emmys came around, they work in Toronto. That's where they film Orphan Black. When the Emmys came around, I had been hearing, they're big fans, or through the publicist, they'd like to do the show at some point or something. When the Emmys came around, you have to understand, when you are an Emmy-nominated actress, and you are coming into town just for the Emmys, your schedule is packed.
Yes.
They pack it with as much promo as possible in order to capitalize on the availability of being there, and they're trying to get your name out there as much as possible in order to maybe garner a win, or at least just garner publicity for the show. And so these guys did not have time to do this, one would think. They put aside 2 hours of their day, and as they told their publicist, who's a good friend of mine, it was something they really, really wanted to do. So they absolutely made time for it. And so this was the episode they were big fans. And by the way, I'd first heard that Tatiana was such a big fan when she met Lauren Lapkus at a SAG Awards thing, I think, when Lauren had said hi to Andy Samberg, and they did the episode where we all did the Hollywood Facts theme over and over and over again.
Yes.
And Tatiana made a beeline for them and started doing the Hollywood Facts theme to them. So Lauren wrote to me and said, hey, Tatiana Maslany is a big fan of the show. So that's where I first heard about it. So I knew I had to get Lauren. I knew I had to get you. And so this is an episode called Good Night in the Morning.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to the clip yet?
No, we haven't done the clip yet. You and Lauren hadn't really decided what you were going to do before the episode.
Not
right?
at all. I don't either. Neither of us.
Nor did you think you were going to do it together.
No, we did not have separate plans of characters to do, and
but you were living separate lives.
Yeah.
You
have no right to ask me how I feel.
You have no right.
This is the perfect key for this song.
Oh man, the lowest version. You got no right.
You want the maximum drama of the song. You have no right to ask me how I feel.
You got no right to speak to me so kind.
Which is funnier, starting too high or starting too low? Because I think starting too low is underrated.
It really
I think
is.
it's underrated.
Because we both were like, ooh boy, should have taken that up quite a bit. Jeremy Piven.
That was a really fun day. That was such
fun day.
Everyone was. It was a Sunday. We had a fun day. Wednesday.
Two for Tuesday.
Thursday.
Throwback Thursday as well.
Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, TGIF.
Oh, TGIF.
Oh, rhythm. TGIF. Respect TGIF. Later on in that episode, you should go back and listen to it. Tatiana jumps in and plays Bellissima.
Yes.
Chasman's wife. And Christian played Phil Collins.
Yeah. Sonny's husband.
Yes.
Sonny's estranged husband.
Yes.
This is one of the only episodes of the show that I've listened to twice.
Really?
Yes.
Thanks a lot, I guess. All right, let's go to Weird Slam.
It wasn't a song. What are you talking about?
Why should you even listen to them
I don't
once?
have fucking time to go back and listen to all this shit more than once. I listened to it once.
You were there in the once. That's the thing.
I didn't have to listen to it ever again.
That's how I feel. In making these clips, I hear these episodes for the first time since we actually
You
recorded
have
them.
no right to say that's how I feel. Yep.
We were doing that during the break.
Yep.
Bum, bum,
Do you
bum,
remember
bum,
those?
Get a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, get a da-na, sha-na-na-na-na, whoa. Na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, whoa. Is there a too low for that? Oops, started too low.
The great thing about trying to start too low is that you have to concentrate so much on it, you can't look at anything. Your eyes just
All you can
glaze over.
stare at is your larynx in your mind. Your mind's larynx.
Trying to push it down.
Splinter of the mind's larynx.
Do you remember, by Alan Dean Foster, do you remember...
Of course I do.
Your President Nixon. Do you remember those Muppets on Sesame Street that were aliens that were trying to learn about
Engineer Cody Ryan
Earth
does.
culture? And what they would do is they would encounter something, and then they would not know what it was, and they would look it up in their book of Earth things, and then they would learn the word and they would repeat it.
No. And how would they do it?
They would there would be a telephone.
Okay.
And they would look at it, and I forget what their noise they would make when they didn't understand what something was.
Like meep, was it? Or something?
What's that?
Was it like nope, nope?
Nope, 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 nope.
Well, they
was
would
it like
they
nope,
would
nope, nope,
repeat-
nope, 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 get a job, sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, wow,
Sha-da-da-da.
when they would try to figure it out. When they couldn't figure it out, they would call for the book,
Okay.
book, and they would get their big book out, and then they would go phone.
phone.
And then the
Okay.
phone would ring, and it would fucking freak them out. And they would pull their jaws would go up over their eyes.
What?
Because they were scared.
Wow.
They were great. As a kid, I thought they were hilarious and also terrifying.
Wow. Okay, so this has been on for a long time then. This is not recent.
It's old, yeah. I don't know if they still do them.
Are they making the jump to pay cable?
Is Sesame Street going behind a paywall?
Yeah, they're on HBO now.
Are they no longer on
They will
PBS?
be. The new ones are on HBO, and then it'll be a window of time before they go to PBS.
Are they going to fuck on this show?
They're totally gonna fuck.
Are the Muppets going to fuck?
Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi? Are the Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi? That's my one question, Jim Henson. Those Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi?
Who am I talking to right now?
Do you understand the words coming out of my
Oh,
mouth?
it's Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker wants to know, are the Muppets going to fuck Khaleesi?
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Are the Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi?
I hope I meet him, and I hope he's on the show at some point, so I can play him that clip, honoring him and his work in
He'll love
comedy.
it. He'll love it.
This is 1 week after the previous
How long?
episode. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Bam, bam, chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Wait, 1 week after the previous episode.
After Good Night in the Morning.
So October, November, it's a wash.
Oh, no one like those.
No one like those man.
No one like those.
Don't hear me now.
This is September 28th. This is episode 378. Just 7 scant days later. And this is an episode called Mailer Demon.
Oh boy, oh boy.
This is
Is it Mailer Damon?
Damon, Mailer Damon, but
You're
he's
welcome.
yes.
I understand. He's a demon.
Yep. This is
I listened to this once.
the court stipulates that you've listened to the other ones once. There's only one episode.
Let
you've
the
listened-
record reflect. The defendant has listened once.
This is Jason Mantzoukas, who we were talking about previously, and also Nick Kroll. And now,
Also mentioned previously.
Now, Jason J-Dog Mantzoukas, he's been on the show a lot this year. He was filming out of town the previous year a lot, so he couldn't be on. And he came to me early in the year and said, I really want to be on, make a concerted effort to be on the show more this year. And we thank him a lot for that.
Because he loves doing it.
He loves doing it. I love doing it with him. There's a lot of people. I love doing it with you. I love doing it with Ben Schwartz. I love doing it with I love doing it with all these people.
You love doing it, Khaleesi.
Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? I love doing it with Mantzoukas. Are those Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi? Are those Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi? Whoo!
I've done a whole 180 on this.
It's
and
good
now.
now.
I love it.
It's good now.
It's good now.
It's good now.
It's good now.
That's kind of a t-shirt. It's good now. It's good now.
Come on.
Maybe
Not
I'm
everything's
reaching.
a t-shirt.
Or is it good now?
Are those Muppets gonna fuck Khaleesi is more of a t-shirt.
I
than
know,
It's good now.
but I like it's good now.
It's good now.
It's good now.
Oh, it's good now.
Oh, it's good now. It's good now. This is the Mailer Damon, and this is 1 week after the previous. Jason couldn't make Good Night in the Morning. He was invited, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes, he was
What
invited.
would that have been like?
I don't know. It would have upset the whole chemistry of the room. Probably.
He would have asked so many questions of Jasmine and Sunny.
Yeah, I bet. Trying to force them into a weird corner.
That's right.
He couldn't make that one, so he came this
1 week later. Scant 7 days later.
7 days later. And Kroll, also another guy who wanted to do the show more this year.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he is in 3 separate episodes this year, as well as including the recent Gil Faison and George St.
Did not want to be in my show so much this year.
Oh, that's
Glad he was making an effort to be on one show.
I think I may have just lucked out, maybe, and hit him on a few days that he was available. But
maybe.
So
Number 11.
Number 11. And that, by the way, speaking of top 10s, I should be just happy with what we got. Vulture was very nice. to call Comedy Bang Bang the podcast the best comedy
That's very
podcast
true.
of the year, the number one.
That's very true.
And they said that this was the best episode of the year. So they voted for this as their number one. This is your.
They were so close to being correct.
Yeah, number 7. Not that close.
Well,
Yeah. Hey, Jack and Jill had a great time at it. The Well. Worked out for them, didn't it?
no, it didn't. Are you familiar with their story about the well?
I mean, they got famous.
That's all that
That's
matters.
what it's all
Your
about,
generation,
baby.
all you care about is going viral.
Yeah.
Listen, my name is Birdman.
Yeah.
And I'm against you.
Hey, they're the original going viral, baby.
Oh, shit.
Nursery rhymes are the original going viral.
Nursery rhymes are the original going viral.
That is a t-shirt.
That is absolutely a t-shirt.
It's good now.
Do you think a t-shirt is a t-shirt?
Maybe. Let's experiment.
How meta do you want to get with this dumb shit?
I don't know.
That is a t-shirt.
That was a lot of fun with those guys. I really enjoyed doing that. And we're going to end at this point. We're going to...
Sad.
It's very sad. It's Christmas Eve in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens, though. I will say that.
At one point they say in that movie, in that song, when they describe
Do you
all
think songs are movies?
I do think they're little movies you can't see.
If they paint a great enough picture, yeah.
They're little movies you're listening to through a door. That's what songs are.
That's what songs are to me. That's what songs are to me.
They talk about all the different things that indicate it's Christmas.
Sure.
And one of them is the hawk is out. What does that mean?
I don't know. It may be something specific to their
Hollis Queens?
culture, perhaps.
To their culture, to their curious and unique culture.
I will say that's how I learned what collard greens were when that song came out.
From that song?
Yeah, from that song. Yeah, I was like, what are they saying? Collard beans? What's a collared bean?
A bean with a collar on it.
Yeah, so I looked it up.
Picture a bean wearing a little jacket, a cream-colored jacket.
Who's this guy?
Oh, this is a fellow. He comes from...
A fellow?
He comes from... my name is Arthur Fellow.
Abernathy fellow.
Abernathy Fellow.
A fellow. Oh
I like to imagine a bean wearing a cloak or a cream-colored jacket.
Is it Dr. Fellow? Is it Mr. Fellow?
It's Professor Fellow.
Professor Fellow, really?
It's an honorary title.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Bestowed upon by you?
Yes.
Okay, can I ask why?
I wrote a letter to myself, addressing myself as Dr. Professor Fellow.
Like the WGA, copywriting something.
Yes, hello.
Why are you wondering about this? Why are you thinking about this?
I like to because I like to put a face to my food. You see, and feel as if I am...
You're actually eating something alive?
Yes.
And killing it?
Yes, because it's forbidden to do so.
I see.
You mustn't eat living things.
Can I just say that you are a weirdo?
Is that your... Well, that sounds like a t-shirt to me.
That was a song. That was a movie.
It was a movie you're listening to through a door.